The lights turned off at 7 p.m. Not because I was done with my work, but because the building assumed that I would be. Everyone else was gone, my coworkers long gone, and I sat there in a silent office chewing on a granola bar that was supposed to be dinner. Yeah, that was day three of my new job in this new role that I got promised the world in. And that day, I learned more than just where the secret snacks were. I learned about burnout, I learned about boundaries, and I also learned why so many women get stuck there without even realizing it. I'm Sophia, and I help women in corporate climb the ladder without getting caught up in burnout. And I know because it happened to me. Now, who's heard of quiet quitting? Yeah, we've all heard of it. Okay, good. I'm not the only one in the room here. But what about quiet cracking? That is a new term going around that talks about the gradual loss of motivation, productivity, and happiness that slowly creeps into your world versus suddenly, like burnout. And for me, burnout happened when I woke up in hives and I realized, oh my goodness, something needs to change. But this quiet cracking, it impacts a lot of people. Over half the US workers experience this type of internal chronic stress and unrealistic expectations. Now, it's sneaky because, unlike quiet quitting, when you notice things around you just aren't what you want them to be and you do the bare minimum, or like quiet firing, where leadership hands an employee a performance improvement plan. They give them 90 days to perform, hoping that the employee will notice, we don't really want you here because the things we wrote on this list, they are impossible. This quiet cracking, it's completely different because it it shows up as like internal emotional detachment. And it shows up in self-sabotaging behaviors. Now, the first thing that comes to mind for me for self-sabotaging behaviors are the self-sabotageurs. Have you heard of those? There are nine of them that pop up in our world when we accidentally sabotage ourselves because something internal is at work. And when I was staying at work till 7 p.m., that wasn't the first time I did it because clearly that was my first day in the office, or that was my third day in the office. But there are two of those nine sabotagers that really showed up that day. One was the pleaser, which is even hard for me to stomach or even say out loud because I'm not a people pleaser. I don't think so. But for me, I wanted to be seen as dependable. I wanted to be seen as the team player, the one who saves the day. I like being the hero, even at the cost of my own needs. And that's what happened when I sacrificed dinner for that granola bar day in and day out. Yeah, what's the big deal? It doesn't really have an impact. Well, yes, it does because you overcommit to gain approval and to avoid letting others down. Now, for me as a Black woman, letting others down was my family. I was the first one to go to college, and my having a good job at this reputable company and going to a great college was something that my grandmother, great grandmother could only dream of. So I'm kind of letting them down if I speak up and become difficult to work with because I don't want to work until 7 p.m. on this project. At least that's how I processed it. The other sabotager is the judge. I am so hard on myself. The judge tells themselves, like, you should be able to handle this alone. And that is exactly the self-talk I was having when I would go in the restroom and wash my hands. I would stare at myself in the mirror and say, come on, get it together. You can do this. They hired you for a reason. Instead of saying, hey, Sophia, give yourself a little grace. It's only day three. You're still learning systems. You're still learning people. Hey, you don't even know the traffic signals yet, like the traffic patterns. Give yourself a little space to learn and figure it out. No, that wasn't me. I was thinking to myself, like, get it together now. And I shouldn't be asking for help. I should be able to get this done by myself. Now, this is an issue because it creates guilt for even considering stopping or asking for help or even setting limits. So there's some science behind this, right? And I always like to look at happiness and how it links. And that connection here is critical because there's a comparison trap that we all fall into, right? It's that social comparison at work, and it escalates around promotion time. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's when promotions get announced and you see some names on that list, and you're like, wait a minute, Bill he got promoted? Why? He's been here how long? What projects has he done? What were his wins? Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. And it creates kind of like a miswanting. Research shows that we often think about career advancements and think about it in terms of it will make us happier if I can get to that role. But just the pursuit of it, because you have to make this level of achievement, it can cause quiet cracking. So I want you to be on the lookout. When did I notice that gradual shift in my work experience? So I didn't recognize it at first, and I really didn't think it was my work that was the issue, not this new job that I got with the fancy title that let me get the fancy car. No, 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 not that. It was in my impatience and my frustrations that I experienced that were showing up. And I, again, didn't blame the job. I blame my friends. You don't call me enough. You don't check in with me enough. I'm a better friend to you than you are to me. Block, delete, just being completely unrealistic and a jerk. Friends, I apologize. I recognize the error in my ways. And my poor husband, I mean, he took the brunt of it. He, for some reason, like I just have to tell you the story. He uh he had the audacity to rearrange a drawer in the kitchen. Yes, everyone has that drawer in the kitchen, right? That's always disheveled and isn't it called the junk drawer? It's called the junk drawer for a reason. Junk is thrown in there and it's all over the place, and that's what you expect when you open the drawer. This guy had the audacity to organize it. Let me tell you, I let him have it. Why is this so organized? What are you trying to do here? I felt like he was organizing it to show me up. Like I have the bandwidth and the time to reorganize this drawer and you don't. I know it doesn't make sense, but I'm just telling you how it manifested for me so that way you can kind of see it in yourself or maybe think, hey, yeah, that's happened to me too. In fact, type it in the comments. Just jot it down. Like, how have you seen this quiet cracking creep up in your world? It'll be helpful for other people to kind of see what you're seeing and experiencing because the more we talk about it, the less people suffer in silence. Now, when we're in this cycle of stress, often counting down like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it interrupts the brain's pattern of overthinking and self-doubt. And let me give you a practical application. So you use it before a difficult conversation with your manager. You're going to just take a deep breath and count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or you could use it when there are some professional development tasks that you've been avoiding. Okay, I really don't want to do this, but let me take a deep breath and push through it. Oh, let me give you one more. What about if you need to break away from team interactions? You're like, you know what, this is entirely too much. Let me step away and take a deep breath and count down. And the science says that focusing on these numbers takes you out of this immediate situation. And by pausing, you're giving yourself space to reset. Let me tell you, overwired Sophia, go mode Sophia, I laughed at this. Yeah, it's okay to pause. Let me give you a practical example of this. Gas. Some of us drive gas fueled vehicles. I don't, but some of you may. Don't worry, I am not judging you. But in order to get from point A to point B, you need to have gas in your tank. And some people wait to the last minute to refuel. Hey, I'll wait until I'm right at E and then I'll fill all the way up. And some people are more proactive. Hey, I'm halfway, let me refuel. Regardless of when you refuel, it's kind of annoying and a pain to actually pull into the gas station and repump. not repump, but refuel. But until you do that, you are making it more difficult to get from destination A to destination B, but you need that fuel to keep going, right? So that's why pausing is good. That's why taking a deep breath to focus is good. And for me, the go, 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 Sophia, I can grasp that gas tank concept and I can't take credit for it. A friend of mine, KL, she suggested that one to me. And I really feel that that's powerful. Now, we talked about it a little bit, but let's talk about early warning signs for managers because I want you to be on the watch out, right? So you'll see decreased participation in meetings or team interactions, subtle withdrawal from professional development opportunities. I don't know if I want to jump into that happy hour or go to that coffee chat that my mentor suggested, or even completion of tasks without the usual quality or enthusiasm. And I want to point out quality because, sometimes you see something and you're like, huh, something's off. I don't know what it is. They'll figure it out. You'll also see this as increased cynicism or just detached responses when it comes to company initiatives. So I came up with a framework just to help us work through this if you do see some of these signs for managers or leaders in general. I call it Spark because I like to talk about re-engaging, reigniting, gearing, get your gears together. So Spark, S, I want you to stop when you see the early signs. And I want you to have regular check ins with those employees. I don't know about you, but if I have a really good employee, I'm actually skipping some of my one on ones with them. I'm not checking in because I know she's got it. She doesn't need my help. But you got to have those check ins so that way you can spot them and notice a difference, to note it and take action. Now, if you do see something, I want you to pause. So go into that spark method. We're on the P, which would be pause. Before you react or overreact, I want you to avoid assuming that it's a performance issue. Instead, be open-minded. Ask open-minded questions about job satisfaction and career goals. Now, I say job satisfaction because often it's always about this project or this goal that we're working on, right? But is the employee happy? Like, what's going on? Are you still getting a rise out of this stuff? Is it still making you happy? And then once you see that, recreate a connection through meaningful work assignments. Tell me what really made you excited last. And then when they identify it, find ways to either shine the light on that opportunity or help them see it. And then we're going to keep the momentum, that K in Spark, keep the momentum by keeping those regular follow ups and offering support. Sometimes support is just, I see you, I hear you. Sometimes support is just sending a quick note like, hey, just checking in, want to make sure that this project timeline still works? Or should we push back on the timeline? Should our team even be handling this? So those type of questions really help. Now, comment below, what am I missing? Is this pie in the sky thinking, or could this acronym, this quick acronym, help you spot, pause, and ask open-ended questions to help your employee? Tell me. So, for individuals that are experiencing quiet cracking, I have solutions. We're not just talking about problems, we're talking about solutions. So, for immediate action, if you're looking for a quick hit, I want you to use that 5 second rule that I talked about. It's actually Mel Robbins, who I don't know how you feel about Mel Robbins, but I'll put a link in the show notes. She talks about just taking a breath and pausing and counting down. Take that step today. That can help a lot. One happiness hack that I find really helpful, I I want you to find or identify one aspect of your work that truly energizes you. And I want you to pick it apart. Not only, oh yeah, that project was fun, but why was it fun? Who were you working with? What did it look like? Write that down so that way you are keeping track of what energizes you, and then you're able to speak up for yourself and advocate for more experiences like that. And then I want you to give yourself permission to pivot. Sometimes quiet cracking, it signals a need for a role change, not just an attitude adjustment. And for me, I kept trying to adjust my attitude by, being the drill sergeant in the mirror or putting affirmations everywhere. Even on my my desktop had affirmations, my phone wallpaper had affirmations, but sometimes you need a different role and it's okay to acknowledge that. But let's spot it so we can change it instead of looking at the same solutions which aren't really working. So for leaders, raise your hand if you're a leader. Yeah, that's you. Leaders, I want to give you a challenge. How about you evaluate your team this week for a quiet cracking? Just look around, see if you sniff anyone out who could be quietly cracking. And then choose an element from that spark method that I brought up. Yeah, you need a reminder. Do you even remember the spark method? Let's just go over the first three, which was spot it, pause, and then ask open-ended questions. Those three are the most important out of the five. And then I also want you to consider your organization as a culprit. Could your corporate culture or organizational culture, like within your group, could it be contributing to the problem? Yeah, I want you to think about that because often we think it's the people, but sometimes it's the culture. And no, I'm not asking you to change it, but let's identify it so we can spot it, we can pause, and we can ask open-ended questions. Now, if you're a leader watching this thinking, I need to implement this with my team, like right now, I got you covered. I created a simple Spark method toolkit that you can download for free, and I mean free. It'll be in the show notes. You can just download that PDF. This isn't just a PDF with the same information I shared in the video. It's a comprehensive step-by-step worksheet that will walk you through the process. Who wants one? You do. Now, I'm out of here, but before I go, did you subscribe? Come on, subscribe because I like putting together these videos and I know just talking about it is helpful for all of us. Did you subscribe? Subscribe. Did you subscribe? You did. Okay. Okay.